Team, welcome back. Guys, one of the best ways we can find our best performances, we can find our most consistent, healthy performances, is by kind of creating these better habits within our lifestyle. James Clear from Atomic Habits, a lot of you hopefully would have read this book. If you haven't, do so. Probably one of the leading voices in this space, where he talks about stacking habits, has really kind of championed the importance of taking some of these daily behaviors that you already have, potentially a particular habit that you already have within your lifestyle, and then bringing another habit in alongside that. So looking at the kind of stacking these habits and finding these kind of a way of bringing these better behaviors into your lifestyle. And this, guys, is a fantastic way of thinking about how we evolve your own training lifestyle. If there are certain things that we need, you're aware of, that you need to improve upon, whether it's nutritionally, whether it's kind of energy management, whether it's kind of getting on top of an injury, a reoccurring kind of injury theme, or just simply getting the best out of yourself. You want to achieve said goal in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. How are you going to be able to achieve that? What are you're obviously going to be able to wanting to increase your training volume. You're going to be wanting to increase your training output. So you want to be getting stronger, fitter, faster. What is it? What do you need to be doing to get there? It's probably going to be a lot of lifestyle change along the way. You're going to be having to kind of increase the amount of training volume that you're doing. You're wanting to be actually improve your training methods. How are you going to do that? And what do you need to do? And so with us at SFE, we're very much focused on this kind of habit forming. Especially when you're looking to initially integrate strength and conditioning into your endurance lifestyle. You may be someone who already loves to run, to ride. You've got your weeks are stacked with kind of multi-sport sessions. You love to ride, run, hike at the weekends, but in your heart of hearts, so you've been told multiple times, you need to be doing some form of strength conditioning to maintain, to sustain these behaviors, to make sure that you're rehabilitating previous injuries. If you've got an injury right now, what is the most important thing you could be doing? Doing that non-negotiable injury rehab work. But there's a gap between knowing what to do and then getting consistently doing what you need to be doing. And that sometimes is not all or nothing. And this is, I think, what a lot of time people will get a program, or they're kind of aware that they need to be doing 3 days of training a week, and they kind of just try and dump that on top of their lifestyle, and it just doesn't compute. It doesn't fit well. So when you're working with anyone, especially with us here at SFE, it's like, right, this individual has already got a busy working lifestyle. They've already got work, family, they've got their running sessions in, they've got cycling sessions in, their swim sessions in, whatever their training week looks like. But we are looking to integrate some clear areas of work. Now, we are needing to rehabilitate that lower back. We're needing to get some more work into that single leg strength. We need to work on their plyometric ability to kind of get that, to get over that said like Achilles issue, that plantar fascial issue, whatever, that knee issue. How are we going to do that? Well, okay, we're definitely going to have to plug in a couple of S&C sessions. Where they're going to fit into their lifestyle. What does that look like? Okay, we've made space for 2, 3, 45-minute, 60-minute sessions throughout the week. That's a big change for a lot of people. But like everything, guys, there's other behaviors across the week, other habits that they're going to benefit from to overhaul, to improve their status. What they're going to look like? Well, there's quite, for each of us, there's lots of different things. We may be wanting to optimize our body weight. We may want to lose a bit of weight, gain a bit of weight, add some lean muscle tissue to our frame. We may want to improve our nutrition. And but these things aren't always going to be done all at once. It's never going to be healthy to kind of do it all at once. So what we do, guys, is we take a framework that they've already got. So they've already got their training sessions. We've already got their work life, their family life on the timetable. We've managed to integrate a couple of key full body S&C sessions within the week. But then we're thinking, right, what habits are we looking to form here now? What are we now looking to integrate? Well, this said person has had reoccurring lower back, hamstring, knee issues. Lo and behold, they don't have great mobility. What habit could we be installing into their week? Well, let's look at bringing in some desk-based kind of mobility work. What 1 or 2 key drills could they be doing every couple of hours? Getting up from the desk, dropping into 1, 2, 3 mobility exercises that take 30 seconds each. But what we're doing is we're starting to create some momentum. We're starting to build some these new behaviors into their week, and we're not overwhelming. You're just familiarizing them with exercises that potentially they're already doing in their S&C sessions. So we're just doubling down, tripling down on certain net movements, but we're reinforcing it. We're telling the body that what we want it to do. We want it to experience greater range of motion. We want it to become more confident and comfortable with these positions. But it takes time for our tissues to change, ligaments, tendons, muscles to change. So we We've got to start bringing this in. So those key mobility drills are in and around the desk, or before the beginning or end of the day, depending if you're if you're a working mum, whatever the scenario is, whatever the environment is. Let's bring these little behaviors in. So 1 or 2 key mobility drills is certainly something we look to kind of a habit that we like to start to form and stack. Pre-run, post-ride, like those are amazing opportunities for us to get in work into, and a lot of people will simply just run out the door, right? They'll just jump on the bike, jump on the turbo in the garage, in the spare room, and they'll crank out the work. But I think you guys would agree, you've got this opportunity, you've got this little window of 2 to 5 minutes max where you could probably get in some quality work in. What could you be doing? You're focused on getting a quality aerobic session in, or an interval session in. That's your primary focus. So this is where a little bit of brainwashing comes in, a little bit of this habit forming comes in, where actually you just have 2 or 3 key mobility warm-up drills, like full body warm-up drills that you just are doing in your strength and conditioning session. You're taking it from that desk based work as well, but you're going into 2 or 3 key mobility drills that are just opening up your hips, opening up your lower back, opening up your kind of ankle dorsiflexion, opening up that ankle joint, just so that when you get into the run, you get onto the bike, you get into the water, potentially you're starting to move mechanically more efficiently. Like your body has a little bit more symmetry to it, has a little bit more engagement, activation to some of those key muscle groups, because you simply just put a little bit more work into them. But we're just dropping these 1, 2 little drills in, and then reinforcing it across multiple aspects of your week. Because to just think of that you are going to change your body by just doing 1 session here, 1 session there, yes, you might change, but it's going to be such a slower gradient of progression. Whereas when we start to habit form and we start to drip feed these little other behaviors, we're primarily talking about your S&C right now, but imagine when you start to bring that type of work in, you're going to start to see some of these, like this momentum starting to build. You're starting to notice that your body feels more free flowing. You're not pulling up so stiff the morning after. You're not like having to kind of almost like a diesel engine get going in your sessions. You feel like you could almost get going quicker. It's because you've got the synovial fluid going in the joints. You've got the blood flowing, like basic stuff, guys. You're thermoregulating more, like your body's got a higher temperature to it, so it makes sense, right? But I know sometimes it can be overwhelming, but this is where these little habits have to come in. And I mentioned it earlier on, brainwashing, but that I always joke about it, but we politely, kindly want to brainwash everyone we work with. Hey, when you leave this program, you are just going to have these behaviors in the back of your head, and you're never going to forget them, because they're going to be exercises, drills that come back again in 20 years time. You'll be doing the same blinking drills because they're just great bang for your buck drills and exercises to be doing, but they should be there. I've been doing them for 20 years plus, different names, different variations, but very similar movement patterns, because we're just trying to make sure the body is functioning all round. So S&C is there, right? And we can apply that logic to developing more spring in your legs, to rehabilitating injuries, to getting more work into our posterior chain and not overloading your Achilles and your tendons and your ligaments in through the feet. A lot of these problems, guys, are site specific. And by us bringing in better habits that open up your hips, bring in more engagement around your hamstrings and glutes, can offset these areas of weakness very, very quickly. And often it's because you don't have this overall behavioral change is why you're still struggling with those injuries, even though you're doing some of the right exercises. You've got to have this more systemic approach to your rehabilitation, your behaviors. This is where the key is. Let's talk about food, nutrition, because this is a big struggle for a lot of people. And again, yes, you could buy into a food plan, a food diary, but actually when you work with any great dietitian, nutritionist, a lot of the time they don't really like giving out direct food plans, because they want you to they want to help you understand better and have a greater understanding as to what works for you. They want it to fit in with your lifestyle. They want you to have these autonomous behaviors. Any professional worth their salt is going to want to kind of educate you to a place where you don't need them anymore. That's great. That's a great coaching professional who is then looking to level you up, because there's always levels to go to. But without getting ahead of myself, when it comes to nutrition, guys, it's about, again, habit forming, finding a framework within your week, and it's going to be based around your training, your work life, your commuting lifestyle, your family lifestyle. What does that look like? Because then obviously obviously we're then looking to infiltrate that lifestyle, that training lifestyle, with better behaviors, understanding what your current food diary looks like, what your current behaviors are, where are the gaps, making sure we've got a bit more consistency across the week. That has to be there. That's kind of the bare bones of an initial conversation around nutrition and optimizing your energy input. But then we start to talk about where can we start to increase your better behaviors. Where could we be making sure that you're hydrating on a more frequent basis, that you've got your better behaviors. You've got fluids at the desk, you've got fluids in the car, you're drinking better on your runs and your rides, you're hydrating better, you're understanding your electrolytes better. Nutritionally, planning ahead, looking at the days ahead of you across the week. Do you honestly know what breakfast, lunch and dinner roughly looks like? Guys, it may seem over the top, but actually, guys, it's very empowering to have this type of mindset and behavior. These are little habits that we like to, again, keep talking about within a coaching program. Look at the week ahead. What do these kind of times of the day look like for you? Are there going to be bottlenecks where you simply aren't going to be in the right place, the right time, that you're not going to be in the right environments to eat the way you want? What are the best choices you can be making? Snacking, what does that look like? Like having some pre-made snacks prepared. Like these are all little behaviors that are just going to need to be reinforced time and time and time again. And it doesn't matter what type of diet you follow. It's more about, are you getting enough macronutrients? Are you getting them frequently enough? Are you getting enough in general? Is the quality there? And then it's about consistency. But it's all habit forming, and it's taking right back to the bare bones. Who are you? What are you doing? What are you training for? What does it currently look like? And then how much can you assimilate? How much can you kind of understand over the next couple of, and make changes too? And most of us aren't great at massive changes in one go. Like, yes, sometimes when we're like at that kind of breaking point, we're ready to make big changes, but most of us need to be kind of drip fed until we get to a place where we're like, okay, my behaviors are completely different to what they were. They're so much better. I'm thinking autonomously better about all these different aspects. But guys, I cannot stress enough how important it is when you're talking about this, where habits, they take, I don't know, people talk about it takes 21 days for a habit to form. It kind of makes sense, right? Like it takes good 2 to 3 weeks of just reinforcement for these new behaviors, habits to form. So don't get disillusioned and just disheartened when things don't sort of, you fall off the wagon a little bit. Get back on it. Like just keep doubling down on it, setting your alarm, setting your behaviors. And this is where obviously a good coaching and level of accountability is going to keep reinforcing it. And I reinforce it every single week to everyone we work with in as many different ways as possible at different times, because just so it kind of, so at some point it's going to click and it's going to sink in and it's just going to be there and become autonomous. So some people don't even realize it. They just are doing it now. But you can do this across so many aspects of your life. Work, we don't need to go into that because that's so individual, but your behaviors around everything, recovery, sleep, recovery is another great topic, and that kind of fits in with the S&C model. But just don't try to overwhelm yourself. Pick 1 or 2 key habits that you want to make a difference and change to, and start to just double down on them. And they are very minimal. 1 drill, 1 exercise, 1 snack, one concept. Reinforce it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then what else can I add to that kind of mindset? All right. Take great power, great confidence in this habit stacking. There's so much link to this. There's so much scope to this, and you can apply it to all aspects. And this is why developing your training mindset will improve all of your aspects of your life, because you can just leverage it and use it to kind of build in better habits all the time. And we ebb and flow in life. There's nothing wrong with that. We have good years, good months, good weeks, and we have bad weeks. It doesn't matter. But it's about how we get ourselves back into those better positions, so we can maintain our levels of consistency, which is what a lot of us are looking for. So we can just keep doing what we want to do. All right. So guys, as always, let me know your thoughts on any of this. Love to hear your thoughts. It's always good kind of conversation to have around this type of stuff. So all right, and I'll speak to you soon.